The man half smiled and looked up at the huge tree. He couldn't see the top of it, but he knew what was up there. His enemy, the witch. The one he had been searching for most of his life. Well, the last few weeks, anyway. "She's up there, somewhere, number 7. "Yes, Your Highness. What would you like to do?" The man didn't answer. He walked forward, looked at the trunk of the tree, saw how dirty it was, took out some gloves from his pocket, put them on, and started pushing different parts of the tree. "What are you looking for, Your Highness?" "It must be around here somewhere." Number 7 opened his mouth to speak, but quickly closed it when he realized what the prince was doing. How stupid was this man, he wondered. Did he really think there would be an elevator in the middle of a tree trunk? Clearly he did. Number 7 had been captured and forced to serve this stupid prince for the last 2 years, and there hadn't been one moment in those 2 years when the prince had done something clever. This was the man who needed help putting on his cape. This was the man who didn't know the difference between left and right. This was the man who thought the painting of his great-grandfather, the old benevolent king, was his real father until he was 22 years old. The painting itself, his father. Whew. And now he thought he was brave enough and clever enough to hunt down and capture the wicked and all-powerful Daisy the Witch. It was crazy. Didn't the prince remember the witch and his uncle were friends? Aha! Here it is! The prince laughed and jabbed the part of the tree trunk which looked like a button. Ooh, pink robot. Nothing happened. Number 7 bit his tongue. This man, who was lucky enough to be born a prince, was possibly the stupidest person on this whole planet. Come on, where is it, number 7? I know I heard that little noise they make. You know, the beep. Your Highness, perhaps the elevator is broken today. Broken? The prince took a step back and looked around, spotting a branch which was just low enough to climb onto. Yes, perhaps you're right. Perhaps I'm right. It's broken, yes. He walked over to the lowest branch, threw the cape over his shoulder again. It had crept round to his chest while he was calling the elevator, and put his hand on the bark. Come, number 7, today we climb. Yes, Your Highness. And tomorrow we fight the witch. Number 7 nodded and followed him up to the first branch. And if I grow tired, you shall carry me up. Number 7 nodded and waited until the prince was a couple of branches ahead of him before mumbling to himself, and if I grow tired, I will drop you on that broken piano. What? Do. Back in the treehouse, or not exactly a treehouse, more like a house carved into the trunk of a huge tree. Moonhead put on his jacket and scarf. Hey, where are you going? Asked Aimeeee, who had only just sat down and made herself comfortable. There. Oh, I'm sorry, said Moonhead, shaking his big round head. Ooh, I almost forgot you were here. But you told me to come in. I did? Yes, just now, 20 seconds ago, outside. Don't you remember? Moonhead scratched his face. Oh, this is typical me. I always forget things that have just happened. I don't know why. Aimeeee couldn't help but smile. This moon man was funny, even if he was a bit strange. It's okay, as long as I'm not invisible and you can see me now. Oh yes, of course. There you are. Moonhead took a step closer to her and poked her in the shoulder. Ow! Now, I really am very sorry, but I must go. Where are you going? I'm not sure I can tell you. See, the less you know about this kind of thing, the better. Is it something to do with the pink robot you just destroyed? Excuse me? The pink robot. The piano, remember? Pink robot? Here? Moonhead looked around the room, crouching a little. Was he scared? Thought Aimeeee. No, it's down on the ground, at the bottom of the tree. You saw it? Yes. It was chasing me and was going to shoot me. But you dropped a piano on its head. Moonhead froze on the spot. Are you okay, Mr. Moonhead? Asked Aimeeee. I killed Pink Robot? Yes, you saved my life. Oh no. Sorry? I'm dead. She'll throw me to the bears. No, what am I going to do? Going to do about what? The pink robot is dead. Moonhead didn't answer. He just paced the room, stopping only to pull the curtains closer together by the window. After a few minutes of this, he stopped, took a breath, and went to the door. Okay, it's okay. What's okay? Asked Aimeeee. What's happening? I will simply tell her it wasn't me. It wasn't me, and it wasn't my piano. Yes, that'll work. No, wait, I've got a better idea. What pink robot? I never saw a pink robot. There was a pink robot near my tree? I don't believe you. That's crazy. Moonhead carried on talking to himself as he opened the door and walked back outside onto the huge branch. Oh, what are you doing here, Prince Useless? Hey, wait for me! She shouted. Moonhead turned quickly. Somewhere. Almost falling off the branch in shock. Ah! What are you still doing here? I'm coming with you. With me? Impossible! I'm going to see Daisy the Witch. If she saw a little girl like you at my side, I don't know what she'd do. But it wouldn't be nice. You're going to fight Daisy the Witch? What? Fight her? No, impossible. Are you crazy? I'm going to give her all the money I made this month and hope that she's in a good mood. He leaned in closer to Aimeeee, whispering, You know, last time she was a bit cranky. She threw a pineapple at my face. That's not very nice. No, it's not. But that's friendly for her. If you're unlucky enough to catch her on a bad day, she might throw you into the bear pit. Aimeeee shivered. Ooh. All the bears she'd seen on TV and in movies had seemed friendly and passive. But the way Moonhead talked about them, she got the idea that this wasn't the way bears really were. She had heard stories from some of the servants about bears that could eat humans, but she thought they'd been joking. Maybe not. Anyway, I must go, and you must go back to wherever it is you came from, said Moonhead, pointing back into his house. But It's so far to climb back down, said Aimeeee. And it was. She hadn't thought it through properly when she was at the bottom of the huge tree, but now she was near the clouds, she realized how high it was and how scary it would be to go back down. Take the slide, of course, said Moonhead. Didn't I tell you about this already? No. Moonhead shook his head, took Aimee's hand, and led her back into the house. On the far wall was some kind of blanket, and he quickly whipped it off to reveal what looked like the beginning of a slide. You see? The slide. It goes all the way to the bottom. Is it safe? Very safe. He slapped her on the back. Hiya! Wherever. Now, off you go. Good luck. And before she could answer, he was already at the door and walking back outside. To the first branch. Aimeeee turned back to the hole and poked her head inside. It was too dark to see very far, but she could make out the first few meters of the slide. It did seem quite exciting. In fact, it was probably the longest slide in the world when she thought how huge the tree was. But there was something not right. She turned back to the door and watched Moonhead's legs disappear upwards. Oh, Moonhead, you should be up here. Ooh. That's it, she thought. How can I leave without finding out who Daisy the Witch is and why her pink robot tried to kill me? And despite the danger of going up into the clouds and looking for a witch who liked to throw people into bear pits when she was in a bad mood, Aimeeee walked out of the door and put her hand on the first branch. Moonhead was already about 10 meters above her. But he wasn't moving so fast that she couldn't keep up. And it wasn't that far until the next set of clouds anyway. And surely that's where Daisy the Witch would be. Aimeeee put her foot into a crack in the trunk of the huge tree and started to climb, making sure she made no noise to alert Moonhead to the fact she was following him. Oops.